It is January 16th, 2025. What's been amazing opening of the year, all kinds of stuff going on, all kinds of things going on globally all over the world. And we're in a bull market. Crypto's doing some tremendous things. Bitcoin is touching 102, 103. It's amazing. A lot going on. We're excited about this project. We've been here since August. I kind of pinned it the momentum. And we've continued to do that, regardless of how fast or how slow or what pace we're on. We're continuing to grow and grow and grow, and we're almost to a certain point to where I believe there's going to be a flood. I really do believe that's coming, and really, really excited about that prospect and what all that means to each and every one of you that have been tried and true and have been claiming, have been submitting, have been staking, I wouldn't say staking, have been farming, right? Let's say farming, have been participating in this project, and just really excited about everything how everything's been manifesting as we continue to learn, as we continue to grow, as we continue to add different concepts and ideas to this project and bring it to life in new ways. And the app is almost here. Just so much stuff to be excited about. So, Mr. Crow, I know we have incredible guest speaker on tonight. Miss Lynette Artin is on tonight, and she's going to share some updates. What else we have on tap tonight?
Well, Ken, again, this is our, I believe, second official call
It
after
is.
the beginning of the new year. So for
It
those of you
is.
that weren't on the last call, welcome. Happy New Year to everyone. Everything that's happening with MoveQuest is moving as it should, with precision. And Ken, myself, and a handful of other committed individuals associated with this project, have been having discussions, and we're really liking the trajectory that this entire project is moving into, and believe that there's some major things in store for all that choose to participate, whether you've been participating since last year or whether tonight is the first call that you've been able to share or be included with. We welcome you, and just know that there's a lot of things out here in the crypto space, if you will. But I like to look at this project as taking it a step even further outside of crypto, and just think about not only enhancing or having the ability to enhance our overall health and well-being, but when it comes to long-term sustainable financial opportunities, things that we can utilize to, propel ourselves from a financial perspective at whatever level and whatever that may mean to you as an individual. This platform has a pathway for those that choose to, accept it or walk down that path to actually reach those levels. And that is something that I am extremely excited about. I want to open the floor real quick before we get started with this evening's guest. I know Hayden, you're here. Let me know. I don't know if you got the message that I sent you, but let
Yeah,
me
I'm here.
know
I'm
if
here.
so. I'm gonna let you go ahead and run with that. But
Oh, listen,
hey,
man, I am here. I'm here loud and clear. It is just an amazing time to be alive. It's an amazing time to be involved in crypto. It's an amazing time to be an entrepreneur and going after that health and wealth. 2025 is here. Let's get it. Before I say anything, I just want to give it back to Mr. Ken, the consultant. He is a dynamic individual. He keeps it going. He keeps the clock ticking. Everything's moving forward. He's on point. And, him and yourself, Herschel, you've been locking it down since day one. This community is indebted to your commitment. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. And I know the community does as well. And that being said, I just wanted to say, first and foremost, thanks to everybody who's tuning in tonight, taking time out of your schedules to hang out with us here tonight. It says a lot about your character. And my sincere advice to you all is do whatever you can to get laser focused right now. Remove any and all distractions. And that might mean that you need to get up and be in a more quiet and secluded space. Get out a pen, a notebook, some paper. Be ready with your finger on the trigger to hit that print screen. that print screen key or capture tonight some of tonight's info because you don't want to miss anything about what you're going to see tonight. So that being said, my name is Hayden, your friendly neighborhood digital asset investor, and I have the distinct honor of introducing to you a very special woman. And with all of her success, she will be the first one to acknowledge her very humble beginnings. But she is very much a family woman who, like many of us, she's always had a burning inner desire for success, and she put that desire into action, being one of the world's earliest holders of Bitcoin. She's an extraordinarily high level understanding of crypto and blockchain space. And with all of her success in this space, she could easily be anywhere in the world right now. She could be on a gorgeous tropical island, just chilling on the beach, enjoying the success that she has up until this point, or riding on her motorcycle, like I enjoy as well, but anyway, she's earned her free time, but she's here tonight. She's here tonight to speak to all of us and to share some of her insights as the founder and the creator of this incredible project, MoveQuest. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, it's my pleasure to introduce all of you to the MoveQuest founder and the creator of this incredible, revolutionary, state-of-the-art project. Miss Lynette
Wow.
Artin, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Hayden. Yeah, just to hand it back to you guys, without all of you that are here on this panel and some of you who are not on this panel, we wouldn't be where we're at with MoveQuest. It's been a journey. Went from the, Get Fit Mining to the rebranded name, MoveQuest, and it's been a challenge, I got to tell you. I mean, we are the first in the world to ever create a project like this. And I mean that with everything in me. You will never find a project like this in the crypto space that's fully decentralized, where you're completely in control, that actually has the health benefits. We could give you testimonial after testimonial of people who have, changed their life health-wise, losing weight, coming off medications, getting that six-pack. I love Mike So's images and his testimonial because it really shows you the impact of just getting up and moving. But with MoveQuest, your body becomes that miner. And so the more you move, the more you're able to mine. But even more so than that, being in the crypto space for as long as I have been, I've been through the bumps and the bruises and the wins and the losses and the mistakes and being hacked and all the things that everybody will go through. It's just part of the learning curve. But one of the biggest takeaways that I've had in my years with crypto is the lack of understanding when people create projects. Trust me, this was not my lifelong dream or on my bucket list to create a crypto project. The thing is, I got tired of seeing all of the projects that come into the space, and you can see right out of the gate, they're going to fail. They all have an end date because they don't have a self-sustaining ecosystem. They do not have the utility to back their token. They don't have the checks and balances that are needed to make a project successful. If you're a project, you are right away not a self-sustaining project until you've created that self-sustaining ecosystem. And that also goes up to say that you can't take 100% of the money out that the community is spending within the ecosystem. I mean, if you were to go to Walmart or any other store and, they take all the money, right? Every time you come in and you buy something, all the money goes out. The only way money stays in that store is if you keep putting it in, but eventually there's no product. There's no reason to come back into that store because the owners have taken all the money and they've left with it. And when you look at all these projects, they bring communities of people in and they have you buy all their tokens at pre-sale. So right out of the gate, they've diluted the market and they've already put it into the negative. Then they allocate tons, millions upon millions of tokens to their development team, to their design team, to people who have promised to build it, and they do this, in my opinion, quite foolishly and very irresponsibly. And again, now you've got all of these people who are holding tokens that were just allocated to them, and they're going to sell them first after the community has pumped the liquidity, because the community has to come in and create those pairs and then inject that liquidity. Then you have to hope that the community who's added this liquidity is never going to pull it out. And they're never going to leave it there, because the rewards that you get from the transaction fees, that very nominal percentage, isn't enough to keep you there. And so eventually all that money goes. Now you've got a problem where there's not enough liquidity. And you've got people who start to sell their tokens before it all runs out. And now you've got, a community of people who are holding, huge bags of tokens with no money to be able to exchange them for. And they fail. Every single project fails. So when I got started with MoveQuest, one, you have to solve an issue, a world issue. You have to, present a solution to a problem. And we all know that globally obesity is a real problem. Obesity leads to chronic illness and disease. And that obesity and chronic illness and disease, one, yes, it comes from a lot of the foods that we eat and the things that are in our foods, but it also comes from that sedentary lifestyle. When you stop moving, your body starts to fall apart. And you start to gain that weight. It can't burn off those calories that you've taken into your body. And so I wanted to create something where your body became the miner. The more you move, the more you mine. And that is the whole basis behind MoveQuest. The more you move, the more you mine. The more you move, the more fit you become. The more you move, the more healthy you become. The more you move, the more your body starts to see this transformational change. But in the meantime, you're mining tokens. And when you're here in MoveQuest, it's cheaper than paying a gym membership. If you got rid of your cappuccino every day, or if you got rid of things that you really don't need, you can really build solid wealth here just by holding that token until it reaches a market value that you want to sell it at. Our tokenomics are very tight, and they mirror the Bitcoin tokenomics, but with some differences. We have a reserve allotment. So everything that you're mining that is being claimed into your wallet, 50% of that is in a reserve contract that you'll receive when the liquidity can handle the release of those tokens. So everything that you're mining, you have to remember, is actually double on a daily basis. So if you're mining with Titans and you're maxing out that physical activity, you might be getting 1.4, 1.5 MoveQuests per day. In reality, it's 3 MoveQuests per day. And it's like having it in a bank account. And once we get the rebranded site up, you'll be able to see what you have in that reserve contract that's allocated to your mining dock wallet. And those will start to be released as that liquidity is able to, as it stabilizes and becomes closer to the fluid level, which I'll explain here in a minute. But all of the features within our tokenomics has a checks and balance. For example, when you come in and you mint the Navigator, the miner, that's our lowest powered miner, it mines at 50% mining power. All of the MoveQuest that's used to mint those miners is just removed from circulation. When you mint it, 60% goes back into the vault, and that is being put back in the vault until the year 2060. That's when the whole 21 million MoveQuest will have been distributed through that proof of physical activity. But by removing that 60% of the MoveQuest when you mint those miners and putting it back in the vault, it allows people to continue to mine those tokens in the year 2060 and beyond. So right now, just from the minting of the miners, the mining will go on beyond the year of 2090. I won't even be alive probably at that point. It would put me over 100 years old, I think, or pretty darn close to it. But it will still be here, and people will still be mining the MoveQuest tokens. It is completely decentralized. It doesn't have a person that's managing it. And so when you go to claim your mining rewards, you're making a call to a smart contract. It's like an escrow. That smart contract, and there's many smart contracts that operate this project. There's over 30 smart contracts. It's completely managed on chain. Our servers cost less than $25 a month. So different projects that you've been in, you'll hear them say, oh, our servers are so expensive, the nodes to be able to handle the traffic and everything that they're doing on their websites. It's because it's not decentralized. They're in control. Everything is literally on chain. This entire project, if I walked away from it today, it doesn't affect you. You're still mining. Everything still goes on as it is currently. And that's the whole meaning behind decentralization. You do not have a person, a group, an entity, a company managing your funds. You manage it all. The more you move, the more you mine. The less you move, the less you mine. It's up to you. You're in total control. If you submit that proof of physical activity to the blockchain, it's been recorded to the blockchain. That validates the movement that you've made, that physical activity in that day. 2 days later, when that round has closed, because it's a global project, so we have multiple time zones, so there's that 48-hour lag there for claims. When you go in, you click that claim button, you're making a call to a smart contract, and it's releasing these tokens into your wallet. It's the only wallet that can get those tokens. The miners are also a utility-backed token. That's what is creating and generating those hashes that are recorded to the blockchain. The more you move, the more hashes that are generated, that are recorded, and that's what is giving you those mining rewards with that MoveQuest. The evolution, that is allowing you to upgrade your miners from the lowest power to the highest power. Again, that's liquidity. When you mint and it goes back into the vault, 40% goes out in commission, 60% back to the vault. That is removing the supply from circulation, but it's not burning it. So it's not inflating the market value of the token, which is also a good thing. And that's where other projects make big mistakes. By burning those tokens, they're inflating the market value. All they're doing is giving more value to the highest token holders that most of them were allocated these tokens to. And it's just taking away market value from holders of lower numbers of tokens. With the evolution, when you evolve and you upgrade those miners, that is the ecosystem that's supplying that liquidity into that pool. The community does not individually create token pairs and add it to the liquidity pool. It's all generated through the engagement of the ecosystem. So when you upgrade your miners, you're using that USDT and it is paired to MoveQuest and it's added as liquidity. When you unlock your mining dock slot so you can plug in your miners, that uses MoveQuest, that's paired to USDT, it's added as liquidity. When you deposit your MoveQuest into the hatchery, that's removing MoveQuest from circulation. That strengthens the liquidity pool. It allows you to incubate and hatch miners at a lesser cost, at a cost that's less than the minting and the evolution, so that we don't want barriers of entry for people. Lots of people have different financial levels. And so if you use the hatchery, yes, it takes a little bit more time for you to acquire those miners, but it costs a lot less money. And so you're still able to get involved with the project. Those who don't want to wait, they can mint, evolve, dock, submit, and they can claim. It happens just that fast. We have the leasing that we are actually in the process of updating the website today, tonight, yesterday. We've been doing a lot getting ready for this to go live. That also is a liquidity injection, and it's allowing people who can't afford to mint, to use the hatchery, to evolve, to still get involved in the project. They would have to go buy MoveQuest to cover your rental fee. The rental fees are paid up front to you. And somebody had just presented the question to me yesterday. Well, isn't that going to have an adverse effect on the liquidity pool? Because when they collect the rent, they're going to sell it. And I had to point out that with this project, there's a checks and there's the balance on everything. But so you have to realize that in order for that person who's new to this project to be able to lease that miner, they have to go to the exchange and they have to buy the MoveQuest. So as an example, let's say the rental fee is $10 and they go and they buy the $10 and the MoveQuest that they need to rent your miner. And granted, you've got $10 now that you can sell. The point is, somebody had to buy that first. And so when you go and sell it, it's a wash in the liquidity pool. It didn't affect the market value. You know, somebody bought it and somebody turned around and sold it. Okay. Where you get the positive is that now you have a new person in the community who's engaged in the ecosystem who will be submitting every day. And those submissions that you are doing to the blockchain, there's those submission fees, which I'll show you tonight. And that is also liquidity. And I was doing some numbers and I was sharing with people, I think it was on today's meeting, when we had our meeting this morning, that currently with the submission, so I look at this project in this way. When you mint the miners, that's a beautiful thing because it's removing MoveQuest from circulation. That's a positive impact on the liquidity pool. and also on the fully diluted market value, which, by the way, is completely inaccurate on any of the exchanges like Dex Screener or the Dex tools when you go and you look at their markets. But that's only because we haven't completed the coin market cap listing until the website goes live. That way we don't have to go in and have them update anything. So that will correct itself shortly. But I'll show you what the FDV is here in a minute. I'm losing my train of thought. Where was I at? Somebody help me here. What was I talking about? I get so lost in this project. Oh, the market value of the token and the submissions. So the evolution, all of this stuff, I look at that with this project as, what do you call it? Almost, those are perks, or those are like, that's extra. I don't use that in the algorithms to see where we're sitting with the liquidity pool, where that submission is that constant every day. Every day, you know, the community is submitting. That's something that happens every day. We know how many miners are docked. We know if they are the navigators, the trailblazers, the explorers. And so I get all of these stats and I can see, you know, how many people are submitting or how many wallets are submitting, because everything's done by wallet. And then you base it on the types of miners and what those fees are. And so we are at about a 25% ratio to what is being distributed from the daily mining. So what that means is that as the community begins to grow, then that curve starts to increase, you know, from 25% to 30% to 40% to 50%. So where the submissions actually become more in value than what is being distributed from the mining each and every day. We have a community that's very small in relation to some of these other move to earn projects. And I love to use stepn as an example because, in my opinion, that's one of the biggest colossal failures in the move to earn space, simply because they were able to bring in 2 million users in 90 days. That's amazing. I mean, if we had done that with MoveQuest, do you know the MoveQuest token would be valued higher than what Bitcoin is right now, and very stable at that market value based on 2 million users in our community that were submitting every day. The difference is stepn doesn't have a self-funding ecosystem. So they don't take the money that's coming in to their project and use it for liquidity, where everything that comes in here, 90% goes into liquidity. And so it makes this project very stable. And so with 5,000 people who are actively engaged in this project, we have a token that has a very stable market value between the $10 and $14 range. And our bottom floor price is just under like $9.40 something cents. Okay, you don't see that in this market. In the crypto space, because these projects don't create a self-funding ecosystem. What project creator wants to leave 90% of the profits in their project, right? They want to take it out. They want the community to buy the tokens. They want the community to supply the liquidity by creating those pairs out of your own pocket. And once the community decides to remove that liquidity, the project is gone. Nobody here has to provide that liquidity. It's the ecosystem that sustains this project. That means that as you're engaged in this project, you're driving up the liquidity in that pool. And so we also had a conversation because we see a lot of the selling that's going on with the exchange. And I have to tell you guys, I made a very bad judgment call back in August when we announced that we were going to do the rebrand from Get Fit Mining to MoveQuest, because our developers had said we can have this done by September 15th. I'm like, wow, this is going to be amazing. We'll be able to go into the holidays, you know, with the leasing and the rebrand and the app. It'll make the onboarding so much easier because that's what our community wanted, right? And with this, what we are doing in the crypto space, it's unprecedented. Okay, we are making smart contracts do things that they were not designed to do. We are breaking ground on things that have never been done in the crypto space ever. And people that call themselves, experts in the space sometimes want to challenge me on that. And they've come back to me and they're like, wow, like, how did you actually figure this out? How did you create this? Well, it took 3.5 years. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, a lot of determination, a lot of commitment, a lot of nights where you just wanted to throw your laptops and your computers right out the windows. You know, and you just keep moving forward because you know it can be done. And this is where we are right now today, waiting on this rebrand. And what happened when I announced that was everybody was like, oh, well, we'll just wait. We'll go out and build when this is done. And then September 15th came and went. And then October 15th came and went. And then November. And then December. And yesterday it was January. And all this time I'm sitting here going, okay, you guys, you know, like I want to kick some ass right about now. But I try to be patient because I do know what we're up against. When you've got 30, 40 smart contracts that are managing a project that is as complex as ours is, with over 200 or 2 million lines of code currently, you've got to make sure that nothing is going to come up and bug out on it. We don't need glitches or, you know, a disconnect from contracts or from the core foundation of this project. Everything syncs and everything's communicating with each other and everything is, you know, it's, if you actually could see the workings behind this project, it would amaze all of you. And so we have had some challenges. Once we hit that, we do a lot of stress testing with our simulator. Once you get over that 10,000 users, 50,000 users, a bug will pop up. And then you have to go sift through those 2 million lines of code and you have to find where that bug is and then you have to fix it. And then once you fix that one, another one pops up and you got to find that one and you got to fix that one. Well, we finally have debugged the whole thing. Unless something creeps up as we are connecting these contracts tonight and tomorrow. But right now we look like we're pretty good to go and that everything has been fixed. So we're really excited about that. But my whole point is this: I made the mistake of stating that this rebrand was coming. And we got a community of people who wanted to wait for that. And here we are in January and people are waiting. So I want to just make it a point that the selling behavior hasn't changed. I went through and I ran the stats on it, that the selling behavior actually has stayed pretty consistent. It's the buying behavior that changed when the community waited, because it is a community-driven project, 100% community-driven. But the point I really want to make is to see it stable with a small community of 5,000 people. Yes, we hit a high of $125 on our token. And if I hadn't made that announcement, it probably would have kept moving because nobody would have known that anything was going to be updated or changed. And you would have just worked with the system as it was. And we would have continued to see that demand for that token. But when we went into that wait mode, the only thing that changed was the demand for the token because we weren't driving the building of the community. And so when the rebranded app comes out, when you guys see how everything works, the leasing pieces here, you'll start to see that buying behavior come back again. And then you'll start to see that market value go back up. But I have loved having the opportunity over the last few months to watch that price drop so that the liquidity pool could become more stable. Because when you start to see a market value of a token, especially on a new project like this that has just newly been listed in August, like when it was up to that $100 mark, you're talking about a liquidity pool that needed $20 million for it to be a fully diluted pool where everybody could, you know, sell their token at whatever the market value was at that point. That is not a very healthy liquidity pool. It was bound to turn around and go back down and settle into that stable environment. So I'm going to share my screen as we get to this point because these are, I know my spreadsheets kind of confuse people. Those of you, I am going to make this one available. Those of you that are, you know, into numbers and spreadsheets like I am, you probably will like to have this because it's something that you can look at on a daily basis and you can start to document these numbers on a different sheet as to, you know, what the liquidity was each day, how many token holders there were, and you can start to create your own trend lines on these tokens and watch what's actually happening here. Right now, currently we've got 564,924 MoveQuests that are in circulation. The current market value of the token is at $13.71. So it's come down. It had gotten up to about $15 or so over the last couple of days. And so this is fine. It's not a bill, you know, it's not a big deal. This here, and when you guys do receive this calculator, these little wallets here, or these crypto addresses, they're smart contract addresses. And I have them very small, just simply because they don't fit inside the cell, and I don't like to have a double space line when I only need one, because it messes up the way I like to have my spreadsheets look. You just have to copy and paste, and you'll be able to open up the contracts and get the numbers that you're looking for. And I'll do a training on this probably this weekend. Those of you that want to learn how to use this spreadsheet. But basically what you'll do is you'll go to each one of these contract addresses and you'll change everything that's in a blue highlighted cell. And you'll add this up, and this is going to tell you how much MoveQuest are in contracts. Now, when CoinMarketCap lists our token, we give them all of these smart contracts. This way they know what is actually in circulation, what's actually in the vault. They know what our tokenomics are, what the release is of these tokens into the mining contract from all that proof of physical activity. And then they will record the accurate FDV of this token. And so right now, if you come over here, you'll see in total, we have had 801,642 MoveQuest tokens that have been in circulation. 422,500 of them are those that have been mined through proof of physical activity that's been submitted to the blockchain. This mining deposit is what's gone into the mining airdrop contract where you're mining these tokens. And so there's a surplus of 5,000 in there. All that is telling me is that in 2 days, there'll be another 75,000 MoveQuest tokens that will be distributed into that mining contract for distribution, 2,500 per day. Then here it shows you the amount of MoveQuest that went out through the liquidity raise, what went into the liquidity listing. Here I explained to you guys that I had made a mistake on the first listing and it just sold all the tokens out. Like, what the heck just happened here? And it closed the pool. It was a mistake on my end. I hadn't used Uniswap before. And it was just a misstep on my end. So we had to turn around and relist that token, and that's where there was 154,000. So in total, that's 101,000 MoveQuest tokens. The evolution, it has purchased and acquired 236,718 MoveQuest tokens. These belong to you, the community. This is your future liquidity. And so whenever you see the project buy MoveQuest tokens, it's because it needs it to pair to the USDT. And just like you, it likes to buy the tokens at the lowest prices possible because it just means more liquidity value in the future. Because as MoveQuest goes up in market value, so do the holdings that the Evolution contract has. This project never sells MoveQuest. There is no allocation to the development team. There's no allocation to me. There's no allocation to the design team. There's no allocation to our core team. There's no allocation of MoveQuest to builders. I would challenge you to find one single person that will tell you I've given them a MoveQuest token out of the vault. It has never happened. You either mine them or you buy them. And that goes for everybody, including myself. I don't even get an allocation of the MoveQuest tokens. Why? Because it's an unfair distribution of tokens, and it dilutes the market value. It takes away from the market value that you, as a person who's engaged in this community, is expecting from this token. And every time you give a token away, and all of these projects do it, they've just taken money away from you because they have to satisfy the market value for all those tokens that were given away that have no equity behind them. And so we don't do that here. No allocation of tokens whatsoever. This project will never sell tokens. If I mine them, if I buy them, I can sell them. But you'll never just see them come out of the vault and go to a person for free. And that's a very big deal for those of you who are familiar with the crypto space. The contract holdings, some of these contracts, for example, the hatchery, those are your tokens, but they are in a contract. And so they're not going to be sold, right, until they come out of that hatchery. And so we are able to use them in the contract holdings, which removes them from circulation, being counted as part of the liquidity. And the airdrop distribution, again, those will go into circulation on a daily basis, but only at 2,500. So these are all things that CoinMarketCap takes in to consideration. And then the wallet holders are only holding 284,000 of the MoveQuest tokens. So out of the 801 that have been in circulation, only 284,000 would be sold. That is very strong. Those of you who are also very good in the crypto space and understand tokenomics, that's huge right there. And what that also tells you is that the selling, what you need in that liquidity pool for everybody to cash out at the current market value needs to be at $3.8 million. Now, when we come down here to the liquidity and we look here at the liquidity, we're at 1.3 million. Okay, we're not at that fluid level in our pool. We need 3.8. Now that we already have the MoveQuest banked, right? We've got almost 300,000 MoveQuest banked. So we've already got half of what we need. We've got 1.4 million already in MoveQuest holdings. And so we only need 1.2 million in USDT. So we're only 32% away from having a fluid pool. We are 67% fluid. That's amazing for only being on the market for 5 months and for only having a community of around 5,000 people. Imagine if we had stepn's user base when they had it. Now they only have about 11,000 active users of their project, which is very sad. Our retention rate is 86%. I love that. We are at 86% retention. Why? Because there's value here and people can see the vision and how this project actually operates. If you were to include the hatchery, the tokens that are in the hatchery, we're only 62% fluid. We're 37% away from being fluid, and it needs that 2 million in USDT. But we stay pretty stable at around 105 to 110,000 MoveQuest inside the hatchery. And I do believe that that will be kind of a trend there that will kind of continue. It'll start to increase as more MoveQuest, is being distributed. But we have a very healthy way of removing MoveQuest from circulation. And a big part of that is when you mint those navigators and 60% goes back into the vault. Then you come down here, that 200, we've got, 236,718 MoveQuests that have gone back into the vault. But the Evolution wallet is holding 62,514 MoveQuests. And that's what the Evolution contract has acquired over the last about 2 weeks, about the last 14 days. So in total, it has almost 300,000 MoveQuest tokens. So right now, the market value of those MoveQuest is 4.1 million. Okay, that puts us over where we need to be at to have that fluid pool. And so that all of these things are, I'm showing you this to show you that this is a very strong project. When you're looking at, numbers, and when you're looking at, where this pool is, the strength of the pool. And for those of you who are, really holding onto your tokens. And I have to tell you, this number stays pretty consistent right here. And so I know it's about the same people who are holding their tokens. So we have, the same group who are selling on a regular basis, on a daily basis, and you need your sellers to keep a healthy market. But we've got you guys that are like real, hardy holders, like almost like me. I'm an addict when it comes to my crypto. It almost hurts to have to sell crypto. But it always consistently stays between 280 and 284,000 that's in the wallets. And so, I mean, that's a good thing. So I'm not really too worried about like a mass, selling or whatnot, but it's letting those of you who are holding, that we're already holding on to more of the MoveQuest that is only for liquidity, which kind of shows you that there is that strength here and that you're not wasting your time by holding those tokens. And, even if this MoveQuest is injected from now until we reach that $100 mark again, and it would be much stronger when we hit that $100 mark, simply because of the numbers that we already have, because of the submissions, and there would be a lot more money going into that liquidity pool because there would be higher numbers. But that MoveQuest would go from being valued at 4.1 million to almost 30 million. And that's just as the market value is going up. And that's why I say, the project wants to buy that MoveQuest as low as it possibly can, just like everybody else. And the positive thing for all of you in the community is that it never sells the MoveQuest. And so every time it buys, you know that in order for that MoveQuest to ever be sold, it actually has to be injected into the pool and somebody has to buy it before it can be sold. And so that makes also for a very hardy, healthy liquidity pool and that tokenomic structure. To show you what it would take for us to hit that fluid mark, it's very easy for us to get there. If we never had another person join our community, we would become fluid in 141 days based on your engagement from the submissions. Remember how I was telling you that I basically focus everything on submissions. Everything else that comes in through the ecosystem is a perk. It's just an added bonus to the liquidity. It just beeps it up even more. It's the submissions, the size of our community, the size of the community that's engaged in the project that really gives us that solid, constant. Because you do that every single day. Every single day, that's a reliant part of the ecosystem. Every day you don't evolve. Every day you're not unlocking mining dock slots. Those happen, but generally once or twice or 8 times or 16 times, depending on how many miners that you have and how high you go up in the evolution of those miners. So just from your submissions, 141 days from now, we would be at that fluid level. And if people keep selling, we would get there even faster because it would take less, there would be less MoveQuest in circulation. It would be in that pool. And so we'd get there sooner. I'm just stating that if the market value stayed at where it is now, between now and like $15, this is how long it would take just from the submissions alone. 20 weeks, 5 months. Okay, 5 months to be fluid. Not one single person has ever joined the community again. It's just the self-sustaining ecosystem with the existing community. That means that we never shared it again. We never opened the door for one new person to join our community. It's just the existing community. We would be fluid in 5 months, and then it would just continue. And that's a self-sustaining ecosystem. This is the most solid project you will absolutely find. Yes, I'm arrogant about it. Yes, I can absolutely prove it. Numbers don't lie. I know exactly what we've created. You'll never find anything like it. And I hope that other projects will kind of follow the precedent, learn what we've done. I would love to be involved in 3 or 4 or 5 more projects like this. Do you know how fast you could become wealthy if somebody would actually take the time to do and build that self-sustaining ecosystem that all projects should have? If you don't have a self-sustaining ecosystem, you do not have a utility-backed token. You've got to have the ecosystem. You've got to have the use for the token. And you've got to let the community's engagement, the money that they're spending to be engaged in that ecosystem, supply the liquidity. And 90% of it stays. So everything that you're doing is just building that stable liquidity pool. Now, to get there even faster, which could happen overnight, and Hayden, I loved what you said today. Wow, really? Only 1,588 people who mint, the 2 navigators and evolve them up to a Titan, we would be fluid. Or 199 wallets that go all the way to 8 Titans. We would have a fluid pool. If we can hit a fluid pool at this low level market value of this token, and you got to remember something, you guys, go look at CoinMarketCap, go look at the move to earn space. I don't know if there is a move to earn project that has a token over 20 cents. We are in the $10 to $20 range. We've already hit $125. And I don't think that there's a move to earn project on this planet that has done what we've done. And they have millions of people. Hundreds of thousands of people, I believe, are in sweatcoin. Millions of people went into stepn. What is wrong? Something is seriously wrong if they only have a token with a market value of a penny to 20 cents. Something is desperately wrong. We have a community of 5,000 people, and we have a token that is over $10 in market value. You have projects that have been on the market for 5, 6, 7, even 10 years now, and they still are not valued at $1. There's something wrong with those pictures when you look at it. Now, just to give you these numbers here. Return to the vault for future mining is at the 45,000, and it's actually higher than this. We just haven't sent them back over out of the contracts. So that's already valued at, that's not a whole lot, but $628,000 that's been removed. That's not going to be sold at this market value. It's out of circulation until 2060. So altogether, through the evolution and the minting of the miners, right now, $4.7 million has been returned back to the vault. It wasn't burned. And so there's still, those numbers are still part of the tokenomics, where if we had burned it, it would have given an inflated market value on the other tokens that were still out there. And so those are important numbers to look at. Our first year, first, second, third, fourth year, 2.6 million tokens will be mined each year through your proof of physical activity. The first year, 912,000 is what's being mined between now and August 1st of 2025. This 912,000 is being it's in that reserve contract. That's your double of what you're mining right now. So all of you who have sold, guess what? You've still got what you've sold still sitting in a reserve contract. Those of you who have held, you've got double what you did have. So that is the saving grace for those of you who have sold and really regret it. I've had a lot of you contact me and go, God, I wish I hadn't sold. Now I understand the project. I wish I hadn't sold. So the good news is, the reserve contract to protect from overselling holds those, and they'll be released when the liquidity is stable enough to, take to handle that selling pressure. The only time in the whole, through the halving and all the years between now and 2059, 804,000 of the MoveQuest tokens have been allocated for the liquidity pool reserve. And that is only so that in the first year, the pool can be as stable as possible. There is no allocation to the liquidity pool reserve after the first year. And so you've got the 804,000 MoveQuest tokens from the first year mining. And the reason you do that, or we did that, if you go look at Bitcoin, just to give you an idea here, they had the 2.6 million go out in their first year, but they had less than 1,000 wallets. We already have 7 times what they had, in their first year, in Bitcoin's first year. In their second year, when they had 5.2 million Bitcoin in circulation, they only had a few thousand wallets. Okay, we've already passed that. We've got over 7,000 wallets that are holding the MoveQuest token. And in their third year, 7.8 million Bitcoin were in circulation. And at that point, they had tens of thousands of wallet holders of Bitcoin by their third year. We've already gotten to holders beyond their second year, okay, or at their second year level. Bitcoin, I say there, but Bitcoin second year level. And by holding on to those 804,000 MoveQuest tokens, it allows us to be able to make sure that that liquidity pool stays strong in the second year when that full 2.6 million is being mined, and not held in a reserve smart contract. At year 2, it's game on. First year is about protecting and building and stabilizing that liquidity pool, building that community, getting the numbers up where the community is very healthy. And that's why we have that amount of token just simply for liquidity. And that stabilizes that for all of you who are here. So let's see. I think that's it on that calculator. This I will make available to anybody who wants it. I am going to have this programmed into the site, and it will update daily for those of you who want to come and look at where we are on the liquidity. It'll already have all of these numbers. The contracts will, the site will automatically pull this data from the contracts. It'll fill in all these blanks. So those of you who don't like to mess with spreadsheets, you'll see this on a daily basis. Once they get this update done, they'll program this in so that you guys can all come and look, and you'll be able to see, where that pool level is at. You'll actually be able to get the full FDV that isn't being recorded properly on CoinMarketCap or any of these other platforms. But if you guys do want this, just remember, don't change anything that isn't highlighted in blue. When you do get it, if you make a mistake, just, go up into your edit and undo the typing so that you can get it back to the way it is. Numbers doesn't allow me to lock cells. Excel does, but I don't use PCs. I only use Apple products. So I can't, lock it down. Moving into the leasing of the miners, I am still working on this calculator. It should be done hopefully tonight. I got sidetracked with evolution and some different things that I had to do this afternoon. But basically, what I'm setting up for everybody, you need to be able to look at what it costs. I want to go over the evolution and why we've made some, I would say, pretty significant changes when we are talking about the evolution costs. And basically, when we started looking at, or when I started looking at the evolution, you start out with certain miners and then you evolve them. And those miners are removed from your holdings, right? Because you're basically trading them in. So we're giving you a trade in value on those miners. And that's why you see the difference. So here, you've got 50% mining power. So kind of look at it as like for every 1% mining power, it's $1 for your miner. And that's, it actually worked out pretty good. When I was looking at it today, I was redoing it. I'm like, wow, okay, maybe this is what I had in mind months and years ago when I set this up, but $1 per mining power percentage. So your navigators are $50. Your trailblazers mine at 100% mining power, it's $100. Your explorers mine at 150% mining power, $150. Vanguards mine at 200%, it's 200% mining power. And then Titans, of course, are the $400 for the 400%. We're giving you that trade in value on each one of these miners. So if you were to mint 16 of the navigators, it would cost you the $800. When you go to upgrade or level them up or evolve them into the Trailblazer, we take the $800 out of the equation as a trade-in, and it only costs you the $800 in the mining or in the evolution fees. So basically what it all boils down to, without me spending too much time on all that, it's $50 to mint your navigator. It's $50 to evolve to the Trailblazer, $50 to evolve to the Explorer, $50 to evolve to your Vanguards, and then it is $200 per Vanguard to reach your Titan. This is also, I think, beneficial to people who can't afford when we had the prices shifted. As you'll see, it's still the same. It's $6,400 if you're mining with 8 Titans. So if I was to say you only want 1 Titan, it's $800 per Titan. It is the same cost. So it didn't increase the cost to get to a Titan, but it made it more fair per mining power that you'll be mining with. It distributed it the way it should have been distributed. It will also allow people to level up those miners when the price was getting higher at the Explorer and the Vanguard level, and the mining power really didn't match the cost of the evolution. So it still costs the same to reach a Titan. It's just the way that those costs have been distributed. This will allow people who are mining with the navigators or the trailblazers to be able to upgrade to those explorers and those vanguards without incurring that higher expense. On the lower powered miners, the expense really kind of comes in at the Titan level. It also allows people to use the hatchery and then be able to, at a lower cost, and be able to still merge to the Titans and still contribute to the ecosystem. So those Titans are higher powered miners. They also increase their mining power to 1,000%. Once this update goes live, it won't be very long afterwards where you'll start to see those miners begin to increase. They'll finish that up and get that live as well. So those Titans, while you're only spending the $400 to get to them, they do increase to 1,000% mining power, and you didn't have to pay $1 per mining power to get there. You just have to move more. Okay, so I already went over all that, the docking slot. So I'm putting together all of this so you guys can just plunk in a few numbers and you'll get the full cost of what it costs. This is giving you what it costs to mine every day, but I'm going to flip over here to this sheet because I'm trying to simplify this for you guys. If you have a navigator, this is going to tell you what you'll mine approximately every single day. Oh, let me get up here. Is this right? Where am I at? Whoops, I'm still playing with this, getting this done. If you're mining with 8 miners, whether it be Navigator to Titan, this is the amount of MoveQuest that you're mining per day on average. This is if you're maxing out that physical activity. And this is what your market value of the MoveQuest is, okay, on those tokens. This is, where am I at? Am I in the wrong? 8,205. Okay, what did I do here? Monthly. I think I'm in the wrong spot. I must have messed up my calculator somehow because I can't even figure it out. Daily mining. Oh, I have it at 10%. Jeez. Okay. That's why I couldn't figure this out. What the hell is going on here? Okay. This is if you're mining with 8 miners and you're maxing out your physical activity. Okay. You're getting those 20,000 steps. This is what you're mining per day on average. This is your cost. This is what you're making per day. So if you're mining with a navigator and you're maxing out, you're making about $2.56. You're paying about 0.02 cents per miner, or 18, almost 19 cents a day to submit that proof of physical activity. So not crazy money, right? But you're still in profit. That's the one thing I love about this project, is that you're in profit. I'm gonna just do something here real quick. Let's just put up here $100 just so you guys can see. If you were to hold your tokens till it hit that $100 mark, let's see. Well, I guess I'm not going to do that because my brain's fried tonight. I can't figure out what I'm doing. But anyway, if you take the market value today, no, it's not a whole lot of money on a navigator. But if you're making, you know, $2.38 a day on a navigator after costs, and it's only $13. Okay, let's just say it's $10 and that's what you're making. You're making 10 times that when it hits the $100 mark. So that $2 is essentially 20. And the same down here. You gotta kind of look at what would this MoveQuest be worth if I hold it to $20, if I hold it to $30, if I hold it to $40. So in this calculator, I'm putting all this together so that you are able to say, okay, I'm mining it at $13, but I'm going to hold it till it hits $50. What will it be valued at if I have this amount from every single day's mining rewards over the next however long it takes to get there? Because only you can decide when you want to sell it, but it's good to be able to project and see what's out there. And it's also good as well because this is part of the leasing. So when you start to share this project with people, well, let me just finish this up. Monthly, your average Titans, if you're mining with 8 Titans, you're mining about $570 a month. Okay, now 10 times $570 when it hits that $100 mark. So that would be equals this, times 10. You're looking at $5,700 that you're mining on a monthly basis right now if you hold it till it gets to $100. So if it takes 5 months to get there, you're sitting at almost $30,000. That only cost you what? Where's the cost involved? I have the cost somewhere. I don't know what I'm looking at. $1.49. That's the amount that you're 2059 is what you're mining. I don't know. But anyway, you guys, I'll have this all. It's simple. It's difficult for me when I stop in the middle of a calculator. I go figure it out. But anyway, you're spending about 53 cents per miner. So you're spending what? So what is that? 8 times 5, about $4 a day. So you times that, $4 a day, your profit, where you're at on your profit margin is very high if you hold it till you hit that $100 mark. Not everybody's going to hold till 100, but there's a lot of you here. I've heard that out, been said, I'm holding to 100, I'm holding to 1,000. And it gives you an idea, but all of this is important too, because you're going to want to be able to look at your miners when you're renting them out and determine what you're going to charge on that rental fee. Are you going to base it on today's market value, or are you going to base it on the higher market value? And those are decisions you have to make. And so with the leasing calculator, when I am done with it, and it will be very soon, I'm almost done. I just have to put all this together. You'll be able to say, okay, I've got 8 navigators. And if somebody maxes out their physical activity, this is what they are going to be able to earn. And if they hold it until it reaches this market value, this is what they're going to earn. Now, are you going to charge your rental fee based on today's market value, or are you going to charge it, base it on future market value? Then you also want to take into account the amount of MoveQuest that you're getting for the lease. What will that be worth if you hold it until it reaches that amount? So I'm putting together several ways for you to determine what that rental fee is going to be. If you base it on today's market value, based on a quick calculator that I had tested the other day, the person who's mining would be able to really benefit from the leasing. And over a year's time, at the current market value of the token, you would be able to get 10 times back the amount of money that you spent to bring that miner into the project, minting it and activating it. And then if you take and you figure you hold the MoveQuest, the 10 times profit that you made on it from your lease, you would actually be able to make almost 100 times what you made on that miner. It's very lucrative for all of you that are in the community who are going to take advantage of the leasing. It's also very beneficial to the people who are going to be leasing the miners if we keep everything on a fair level. And it's going to be trust me, it's going to be very competitive on the market with the leasing. So you want to kind of be able to project those prices in a way that you are making fair fees on those, and we'll be able to explain when people are leasing what to look for. Look at, what are the elements, what are the attributes? There's so many things you're going to look at. So it's going to be also programmed into the website for you, so that when you are going to be setting up those mining fees or those rental fees on your miners, you're going to be able to plunk in a few numbers. You won't have to deal with the spreadsheet. I'm creating it so they can put it up on the site. But those of you who want it sooner and don't mind dealing with a spreadsheet, I'll make it available to you prior to them putting it up on the website. But it'll make it very easy for you to determine what it is that you want to charge and be able to project what you'll be able to earn on those miners that you're leasing. And so that'll be there available for you very soon as well. I'll have this in spreadsheet form available to all of you, probably even maybe tonight or tomorrow morning. I just have to finish up a few things. I've got it on 3 different spreadsheets. I have to pull data from these other 2 sheets, and then it'll all come together. So there's a lot that I do on these crazy sheets. Believe it or not, all of these sheets work together in some form or another before I compile one up for the community. The leasing, if everything goes well, guys, it really should be available to you by early next week. We'll start to see all this stuff coming up on the site here in the next day or so. I know they're pretty confident. They're always confident, but they really seem more confident this time that they've actually got everything working without any bugs in it, that nothing has popped up now through tons of tests. Like, we run it and run it and rerun it and run it and rerun it. Because this is something that we can't roll back. It has to go on perfect. There can be no mistakes. So it's a long process, but we're just there. We've got several companies and groups and organizations that are waiting on this leasing. So there's going to be a market there for your miners. There's a lot of you that have already got people waiting to lease miners that you're already holding. So it's going to be a very good, solid way for us to build our community. And again, no, they're not having to mint the miners. They're not having to evolve the miners. Eventually they'll want to, but they do still need to buy the MoveQuest to pay your rental fee. They don't have to unlock dock slots, nor do you. We don't have the docking slots for the leased miners. Um, but it is that constant. It's that daily submission. And so it's helping to build that community, and it's breaking down barriers of entry for people who can't afford to mint the miners and evolve them or use the hatchery yet. And it's allowing them to get involved, even if they have to work their way up to owning their own Titans. We got two other forms of hatchery that are going to be going live right after the update. I can talk more about that on another call because it's starting to get late now. And let's see, what else do I have to tell you guys? I know there was something. I can't think. Uh, I don't remember. But I do now. Sorry, guys. We are going to be decreasing, making some changes on the hatchery. The value, the fee itself on the hatchery is going to increase the amount that you spend in AVAX, but the amount of MoveQuest that you need is going to decrease. So watching this over the last month or so, what we've noticed is that it's too much MoveQuest for one person. If they go and they buy it, they are buying it for the purpose of being able to hatch the miners. And then when they remove the MoveQuest and claim the miners, they just go sell that MoveQuest, which that's fine. I mean, it's all good. A Titan, that MoveQuest would be held for 28 days. But if we haven't started to build up that community, we really want that MoveQuest to continue to stay in the hatchery. And so if we decrease it by, 30%, 20%, something like that, just a little bit down, raise up the price a little bit more, dollar wise, it adds more liquidity into the pool. It still gives them the miners at a discount. It's a win-win no matter what, even if we do increase the hatchery fee, but it drives down that MoveQuest a bit that has to be staked into that hatchery, and it will allow more people probably to get involved as well. And then it does kind of relieve that selling pressure. So it's still pulling MoveQuest out of circulation, which is a positive impact on the liquidity pool, but it's not putting a hardship on people who are doing it only because they want to get the miners at the discount and then have to sell that MoveQuest as soon as they claim it, whether it be to evolve up to the Titans or just to get it back in their bank, whatever it is they have to do. So we kind of want to decrease that pressure on a person to maybe spend more than what they maybe really wanted to spend, but really want to get those miners. It kind of will ease that up a little bit. And it will also relieve some of that selling pressure when those are hatched. So I think that's all I got, you guys. Hopefully you guys are excited as I am. Things are really moving along. We've got an amazing project here. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys and we still have our audience, but it's an amazing
No,
project. You don't see anything like it. It's really all coming together. Yes, a little bit late, but it's amazing and everybody should be really excited.
no, Lynette. I remember we talked earlier, and I was saying, how we've literally, what, 6 months, maybe something in that range.
Yeah.
We've been here. I mean, you're talking about a brand. We've done nothing yet, folks. We've got
Right.
so
Yeah.
long to
Like,
go in the grand scheme of things. I mean, you just got to look at it like we're just getting started, and it's going to take certain things that we have to go through or grow through to get to the result we're looking for. It's like
yep.
anything else, lifting weights, or, I mean, if you want to use the workout analogy, right? You don't go do bench press or crunches for a week and look down and see a six pack or a big chest. It's just not happening.
Yep.
You got to do it
Yep.
over and over and over and over and over and over and over. There's a progression, right? So, and then when you heard what Lynette said earlier, I mean, millions of lines of code. And Lynette's probably not telling you everything, but there's not a lot of people working on that code. It's very, very tight group of
I'm
people.
very, very, yeah, I don't let
Yes.
anybody touch that code.
So, exactly.
There could be no
So,
attacks on us. I mean, we're
right.
very guarded with this project. It's very, very secure.
Exactly. Exactly. So, take all that into consideration. Yeah, and you did. I love the transparency. Hey, I made a mistake when I said, and we've done this a lot in our industry. We name a date or we give them people a certain time frame, and when you're dealing with technology, forget about it. just not going to always happen the way you plan it, right? So I'm excited, Lynette. This has been phenomenal. Again, another great TED Talk, I call them. You take us under the hood. You do things that no one is doing in the space to break things down. I mean, to the numeral, and we're greatly appreciative of that because we never got any of this stuff. No one would ever do this and give us all the, very, very truthful and transparency that you've been given, on these Zooms since day one. It's been amazing. So I don't have anything. Again, phenomenal job. I'm so excited to be a part of this project, and moving forward, it's only going to get better as we progress. So I know any of the leaders want to have anything to say, we can wrap this thing up and keep it moving. Looking forward to the AMA on Monday. We could talk about that. But yeah, it's gonna be
we
great.
do have the AMA on Monday. We got Quentin and Michael though that have their hand
Absolutely.
up.
All right. Let me
Yeah, the
see.
AMA is going to be fun. I'm not a big social media buff. I'm rarely on social media. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun as long as I get to still watch the Trump inauguration.
I think we'll be able to fit it all in that day. Absolutely. Go ahead, QB.
Oh man, wow, incredible, incredible, incredible. Thank you guys. Thank you, Ken, for just serving a big team. Thank you, Lynette, for the amazing opportunity. I just want to say, I was just thinking while we were sitting here listening to it, I know you're going over the numbers and that stuff can be a little mundane and it's kind of, it can be a little boring, but the numbers are the magic inside of this ecosystem in this project. And I just want to tell anybody that's on right now that I know me, Ken, and a lot of the other leaders, we've seen just about anything you can name when it comes to this space, the crypto projects. And I'm here to tell you 99% of them fail. And I know we all have this vision of just getting into crypto and getting rich tomorrow or, 1,000x and, doing all of these crazy things, right? And the reality is that doesn't happen for a lot of people. And so we have to stop trying to cheat the process. And we have to embed ourselves in a project that is real, that is legitimate, that can produce results, even if it doesn't make you rich overnight. But what if it took you 18 months to really get where you want to go, to really achieve some financial freedom, or 6 months or 12 months, 3 years even? That's what we have here. Is we have a project that we're building here that will be here long term. It won't fail. It will not fail. It is built the right. And that's why I immediately was attracted to this, because I think the thing for me is that when you have seen so many things not work and fail, and you see the reasons why they do, when you see this project, you'll understand why it won't. And there's probably a lot of people who have not been in a lot of projects to see the failing side of things, to understand why this project is amazing. And so I'm excited. Head is down. We're ready to run. I can't wait for all the amazing things that are coming. Just be a part of this, because you will look back and you will say, I had a chance to be in this project and I didn't do it. And you will hate yourself for it. So great call. Can't wait till Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone. And we'll see you on Monday.
Awesome. Okay, I think we have Mr. Faust, Mr. Michael Faust. Go ahead, you take it away.
Hey, great to be here. I just wanted to share a few thoughts on what Lynette shared today. You may not understand everything that's been shared today, but you do know that the people that actually created this project and actually developing it know what they're doing. That's the key thing. And that builds actually belief and confidence to actually participate and to share it. I've been in business now for over 40 years. One thing I know, numbers don't lie, and calculators give the actual clarity of what the potential real outcomes can be. I've built and used calculators in the past for other projects. In the last 3 years, just using calculators to show people what potentials are, I've brought in tens of millions of dollars of funds into those projects. And so I know this works. So when Lynette's talking about having that built into the website where you can just punch in your numbers and give people and outcomes. People want to know, what's my expectation? What should I be, if I invest my money, my time, and energy into this, what am I going to get out of it? And for me, it's all about how simple MoveQuest is. Be really careful to always keep things really simple when we're sharing it with people. Actually, wearing a wearable, wearing a smart device to track your sleep and activity. That data is stored in a health app that's collected from your device. That health app talks to MoveQuest. MoveQuest converts your activity into a reward. That reward has increased in value more than 10 times in 5 months. And as we actually grow the community, it's going to grow to 100 times, 1,000 times, maybe even 10,000 times in value. Remember, you're already sleeping, you're already moving your body daily. And if you're not in MoveQuest, you don't get actually rewarded for that. But those who are participating, we're actually being incentivized to drive the right behavior. For me, 129 days of actually consecutive physical activity, 5 kilos down, 2 belt holes down in my waistline. That's a great health benefit and being financially rewarded for that. So if we share MoveQuest, we're actually rewarded for that. And if we share MoveQuest, we're driving the price up of the reward that we ultimately want to be using to help us to become successful in life. And the reward happens to be cryptocurrency that is on trend. It doesn't matter if it was actually gold or a precious metal or foreign currency or any other store of value, whatever it was, you'll find a way to convert that back into your currency in wherever you live in the world. Why is it a good time, though, to be involved with crypto? Because countries, federal, state, and local governments, institutional investment companies, public-private companies are all talking about crypto, adding it as actually part of their treasury. It's topical. You've got the US leadership is very pro-crypto, and other countries are going to follow suit because of that. And every day there's 5,000 MQT being released to the actual community for you to get your piece of. And every day more people are actually participating in this project, which means the opportunity to get the most amount of MQT is today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year. This is the time to be taking massive action to get as much as you can. For me, a minimum of $1,000 MQT before I would even think about selling this, because for me, this is not a salary or a cash flow. This is something to build wealth. If you're relying on a salary, you're always going to be relying on a salary, and you're going to be living from one paycheck to the next, or one actual your reward to the next day. Build some true wealth and actually accumulate MQT and be patient and realize that you are able to actually contribute by lodging your activity every day and claiming your rewards and ensuring this. So we all get to play a part in the ultimate success. Be someone who actually contributes to the project, not someone who's just looking to see what they can take out of the project. So on that basis, I'll hand it back to you, Ken, but thanks, Lynette, for giving us the opportunity.
Yeah, we're gonna need that presentation, my friend. That right there was the short and sweet version.
Yeah.
We need that. That was beautiful. That was great. And we know you have that skill set, Ma. You brought a lot of value to the community, man. We really do appreciate everything, the tools and the knowledge and presentations. You've done some phenomenal work, man. So I'm looking forward to working with you and utilizing your gifts, man. It's great. It's good stuff. We got a lot of talent around here. It's amazing. Appreciate it. Okay, I think we got Hayden. Go here, sir.
Yeah, just a quick 30 seconds. I just want
Sure.
to give it back to Lynette. Thank you so much for taking your time tonight to share that information with us. It's an absolute gem to have you, kind of unwrap this thing. And it's like sitting in a university class and just being inspired by the numbers. So I really appreciate that. I just want to say, some of you know me, some of you don't. My background is in recording engineering and music industry arts. These days, I volunteer my time as a youth competitive soccer coach. And, I focus my professional activities on projects and vehicles that generate residual income. So needless to say, I love the idea of being able to do work one time and get paid for it over and over and over again for it. I mean, that addiction started with the music industry. Of course, in the music industry, we got paid royalties. We record that song one time, and every time that song is played, licensed, distributed, we keep getting paid over and over and over again. I'm still getting paid for tracks that I did back in the mid 90s. So when I saw this project, I got lit up. I mean, I couldn't sleep, to be honest with you, because immediately I saw a way that it was possible to download an app once, configure my devices once, open a crypto wallet once. But from that moment forward, I'm going to be moving for the rest of my life. So every single day, day after day after day after day, as long as I'm moving and submitting the details, we're getting paid. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that, especially in light of the fact that I've always been involved in athletic behavior. Athletic exercise is a daily part of life. Can't live without it. So my sincere advice to anybody who's taking a look at this project for the first time is just have a sincere, down-to-earth conversation with whoever invited you to hop on this call, and just have them go through what they do daily and how it works for them. Let them show you this project in action, and it'll make sense. Back over to you, Ken.
Awesome. Incredible insight tonight. Thanks so much, everybody, for being on. I'll just leave y'all with this. I heard Quentin say earlier about, getting rich quick. The one thing I can tell you is that people's lives were changing very quickly. Those first 90 days, 4 months, you should have heard the testimonials. If you weren't around, ask somebody, right? And we're going to start posting those testimonials and compiling those testimonials, because that's the driving force behind MoveQuest. Yes, the money is great, but the mental clarity, the physical things that people were going through, they were overcoming the relationship type stuff that people were mentioning, and it was so many things. And man, there's so many stories that we probably that are very personal to people that we didn't even hear, but MoveQuest was an integral part in changing their lives in that window of time, and still today, till this day, right? So I'm looking
Yeah, and we've
forward to
had
each
them
and
right.
every. Yeah, go ahead, Lynette.
We've had these testimonials right down to people letting us know you saved our marriage.
Yeah,
I'm actually talking to
absolutely.
my husband now. We're walking together.
Yeah. I mean, from that to, hey, it saved my house,
Yeah.
my car, my vehicle. I mean, I've never felt this good in my whole life. We're talking about people that are over the age of 50.
Hmm.
I've never felt this good ever. Really, that's interesting. This little
Yep.
MoveQuest deal, right, is impacting people like that. Not monetarily. Yes, that's great, but physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, all those lead words, it was doing something for people, and it still is. But just imagine doing that with 10,000, 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000 people, 1 million people. Can you imagine the economic, emotional impact that we could have? Could you? I just want you to close your eyes and imagine being a part of something so different, so refreshing, so impactful that you're proud to leave your house and say, have you joined MoveQuest yet? Oh, you haven't? Go to movequest.com. Like, you're going to be saying that soon. We should be saying that right now. Anyway, I'm getting a little off of what I want to say, but look, I'm excited about this project. I know each and every one of you are as well. We're still over right at 300. No one really left. Mr. Ivy, come on for me, my friend, and share what you all have going on tomorrow. I know we have a Zoom presentation. I want you all to make sure that you're invite 1 to 2 people to hear the presentation tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. Go ahead, Mr. Ivy.
Well, not actually tomorrow. So we already mentioned we've
Oh,
got the AMA on Monday. So the next presentation will be on Saturday, and that will
there you
be
go.
at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And so we've been talking the last couple of weeks that this is the time, guys, that you definitely want to jump on board. You definitely want to be putting your MQT in the hatchery and getting more more of the miners for assets, and you want to get your hands on as much MQT as you can while the value is where it is. Just like what Mr. Faust said, long-term thinking, accumulation mode right now. We've already proven what is possible. We're not in the proving phase anymore. Now it's just the growing phase and accumulation and sharing this opportunity with as many people as possible as ambassadors. So take full advantage of the time that the individuals, the leaders, and everyone else is putting in with the customer support, with the Q&A, with our presentations. So Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, let's flood the house. So back to you, Ken.
Absolutely appreciate it. All right, Lynette, we're out of here. Thanks everybody for being a part of this this Zoom tonight, and I'm hoping you take away a lot of value from this presentation and I guess conversation, this TED Talk. And again, be excited. Have some posture. You're in something no one else that's involved in crypto that's not here is involved with. I mean, no, this can't be duplicated. This is a one of one type of situation. All right. So plug in, be consistent with that. Let's invite to these Zooms. And let's pack out the AMA Monday. It's going to be a phenomenal first quarter. It already is. And I'm looking forward to what we're going to go out here and do. Congratulations, everybody, for being a part of this amazing project. We'll see you on the next one. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.